The city's alive. Clock strikes 12. We're ready to dive down the street where the neon hums. Our little escape. The workday succumbs. Tables wait. The bar's got that swing. Glasses clink. Hear the ice cubes sing. Liquid lunch. Pour it smooth. Let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass. Let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch. We're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie. Jacen dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. The sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salud and welcome. A very happy and thoughtful Tuesday to you. At least I hope so. Let me start by saying hello to my greatest cheerleader, my wife, Netter of Netters Network. She says, hello, love of my life. I love you too, my dear. She says, please like, subscribe, share, become a member. Yes, please do all those things. I would really appreciate it. Now, I found this one kind of interesting. Mark says, Mechpo, I hereby grant you presidential permission to drop an F-bomb or two. On a happy note, changed my phone data plan with Consumer Cellular so I don't miss any of these streams. When you have people changing their carrier to make sure that they can follow your streams, you know that you've arrived as a streamer. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much. Suzanne says, hello, Troy, and she drops the membership emojis, the fedora and the mumbler. Here is the fedora. If you are curious about the brown mumbler, I did a stream a couple weeks ago on a Friday. Fridays, I usually talk about what drink I will be having that night. So I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago. I did a stream on the brown mumbler. And in so doing, a tribute to Jim Johnson, who introduced the brown mumbler to me and most of the Chicagoland area. Clifton 3D says, "Hail Troy, Netters, Mark, Suzanne, welcome, Clifton." I forwarded you guys to his channel yesterday. It was a good stream. He had Anna on as a guest. I apparently have the distinction of having been responsible for his first stream raid, so there's something great. Of course, Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Check him out, not only his multiple channels here on YouTube, but on X and Rumble especially. Rumble's where you get the good content. Not staying, Troy, haven't been to bed yet. Yes, I know you're in a different time zone yet. So heading to bed now. Have a great stream. Peace out, all. Yes, absolutely, Suzanne. And of course, remember, you can always come back and catch the restream at your convenience. Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf. Hello, all. Ow! Werewolves of London. His hair was perfect. Good to see you, Charlotte. Good to see you. Matanui says, "Hi." Good to see you, Matanui. And Curtis Selby, the tired midnight blogger. Yes, it is lunchtime. There you go. And that catches us up. So this is, of course, Tuesday Thoughts. And these thoughts, I give my thoughts every day of the week on every stream that I do. So I am certainly interested in what your thoughts are. This is the stream where you can lead the stream. Yesterday, Mark was trying to poke me in a political direction, which I resisted. But if that's how you all want to push me today, that's how we can go. I actually am glad that I've had an extra 24 hours to digest the current global situation, because I think I would have better insights than I did yesterday at this time. I am also going to try, I know I say this all the time, but this time I really mean it. I am going to try to keep this a little less than an hour. I'm going to try to end before the top of the hour, because I am expecting a call today, and I want to be available for that. So something I don't normally do, and I know this is incredibly unprofessional, but I do have the sound on my phone, so if I get an alert or a ring, you will hear that. I do apologize, but it is necessary for personal reasons. That being said, I have mixed feelings about what's going on. I do not. I am very relieved. I did not catch your stream a couple days ago, Curtis, and I wish I had. If it's still up, I may go check that out. In the words of John Quincy Adams, America goes not abroad seeking monsters to fight. And I do wish that America would very much have stuck to those lack of guns, so to speak. I have, more often than I really should have, engaged online in debates with slack-jawed, uninformed people. Somebody who was, look, let's start with a baseline that I think most reasonable Americans can agree to. Cheering for war says way too much about you. No one should ever be eager for war. Maybe if you are the one going and picking up the gun and going to fight. But when you are cheering for other people to go fight and die, screw you. That's how I feel about all of these conflicts. So somebody was, all excited about, what was going on. And I said, oh, yeah, because this always goes well. Look at Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq. I listed very specific conflicts, and this jamoke comes back with, oh, so you would have been okay with I have to censor what he said, with Mustache Man taking over Europe and blah, 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 and this and that. I said, slow down, Gaslight McGee here. Put your straw man away. I specifically listed a whole bunch of conflicts, and you did not reference one of those. You went to the one I specifically did not, right? In fact, the one where we were actually attacked. Where we actually, had a... Can you imagine? Let's turn this around, right? The U.S. and the other nations involved. Oh, this isn't actually an act of war. This is just hitting certain targets. Oh, really? Could you imagine Japan saying, this isn't an act of war. We're just attacking the ships at Pearl Harbor. Yeah, no. It doesn't work that way. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay. So then, yeah, see, Curtis, one sentence and you got me right off on this. But you guys know how passionate I am about this stuff. So we get attacked. We don't really have a choice in the matter. So, there was this great little bit, and I wouldn't play it because I know my channel would get hit for bringing this up. But there was this great, what was that? I think it was, can't remember if it was Adult Swim or the Cartoon Network. They had these stop motion bits with Robot Chicken. That's what it was, and it's a bunch of kids in a classroom, and all the kids are ethnically diverse, representing different countries in the world in the 1930s, right? And so you got the kid with the dark glasses and the bomber jacket and red, white, and blue, and he's just unfazed by everything. And you've got in the middle the little kid with the little, and the brown shirt, and he goes, "Teacher, my desk is too small. I need the Polish boy's desk." She goes, "No, little mustache boy, you have the same size as everyone else." Next scene, goes next scene. Little mustache boy, where is the Polish boy? Oh, he had to leave. And now he's got two desks together. I also need the Czechoslovakian and the French table too. And then the next scene, of course, he's got all these desks around him, and over on the other side is U.S. going, "Not my problem." Little Japanese boy runs up, knocks over his milk, and he goes, "Now it's my problem." Which I suppose is a great way of looking at it. But this was a cluster F, and I think the reason you see a divide in the base for the current administration is because most of that base voted on the assumption that we could take him at his word that he wasn't going to get us into any foreign wars. And now in retrospect, I don't think he intended to. I think he was manipulated into it. And that should rankle him and his followers as well. But that's just my thought on it. I'm back out watching trains. Had to call the railroad and report a crossing signal malfunction. Well, I'm glad you're on the job, my friend. I heard that last night bombing Iran isn't an act of war. Then what is it? Yeah. Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, I think everyone in the world would. It's not an act of war until you want to call it an act of war, apparently. And you can mealy mouth your way around, the War Powers Act and declarations of war and, legalities. But when you bomb somebody and they bomb back, that's war, albeit it sounds like, from everything I'm hearing about what actually happened, we bombed a bunch of installations and warned them about it in advance. And then they said, well, we're going to retaliate at all these bases, make sure there's nobody there. 0 loss of life. It's amazing. Yeah, it really helps to know when and where they're going to hit you, right? So it looks more like theater than actual combat, which I do believe is exactly what it was. But hey, if that gets the pissing match done and gets us out of the combat, so much the better. Hello all, hope everyone is having a nice day. I actually am. Despite the fact that it sounds like I'm ranting, I think this is actually a good thing, long and the short of it. Mixes feelings is an understatement, but I get it. Had to walk away from someone at work over it before I hurt their fees. Yeah, I get that. I need Polish voice desk. Yes, exactly. It's a police action. Oh, yeah. Just like all those other conflicts that I said weren't wars that we basically lost, right? Salutations. Went to the movies yesterday and watched a special screening of Jurassic Park Rebirth. I heard. Okay, so I'm wondering if you are like deleted scenes and Sin's Corner and whatnot, where you go to the Regal. Oh, what do they call it? Mystery Movie Night, I think it's called. Is that what that was? Yeah. So like tonight over on Deleted Scenes channel, maybe check that out. He'll be doing his review. Well, all the people that went to that Mystery Movie Night are going to do their review of the new Jurassic Park movie. Jurassic Park Rebirth. Comes out July 2nd. Cool and awesome movie. Yeah. I'm not going to say what Deleted Scenes said because, he hasn't done his show yet. You should go see his show. Yeah, great. No, on one hand, Iran has done so many horrible things, and no, I don't want Iran having nukes, but I also don't want World War III. Okay. So, I've said this to Mark, I've mentioned this to many other people. Put aside all the bull crap. And the only way to put aside the bull crap is to analyze things. Use the brain, the critical thinking part, right? Israel is a nuclear power. They have nuclear weapons, right? If you are Iran and you don't have nuclear weapons, do you start a war, or do you want a war with Israel that can literally nuke you off the face of the earth with their next lob? One could argue that yes, they would, because they're religious zealots, but there's two problems with that argument. One is, that's great, your religious cause ends with you then, because you have no chance of winning. And two, if you pay attention to what has just happened in the past week, does that match up with somebody that's willing to, go to war with another nuclear power? Does it? The fact that they've said, okay, we want a ceasefire, we'll agree to the terms, whatever. Now, have we ended their ability to create nuclear? Well, if you believe the neocons, who have lied to us for as long as they've been around, then yes, the bunker busters completely destroyed their nuclear capabilities. I call bullshit. I think this was, again, just military theater. So everyone can say they won and walk away from it. And tell me, okay, if the goal is Iran not having nuclear weapons, which option is more likely to result in that? Negotiations to make sure that there's peace, that they don't need nuclear weapons, or bomb the crap out of them for not having nuclear weapons? Personally, if you're going to bomb me and I don't have nuclear weapons, I think I'm going to go and get some nuclear weapons. Because it's worked well for every other country that has nuclear weapons. Every other country that has nuclear weapons doesn't get bombed. So maybe I want some nuclear weapons. Just saying. I honestly believe that this action has ensured, not prevented, Iran from getting nuclear weapons. They're going to now trade with other, amiable countries to them, for them, or they are going to develop them in secret, as other countries have. If you are going to have a non-proliferation pact, okay, you don't enforce that by going to war with somebody. That's not how this works. And let's face it, that is an excuse. This was started unilaterally by Netanyahu. I'm not even blaming his country. I'm blaming him. My prediction is that his political career in that country is over. Because they're not happy with this either. And he went off on a war he thought he could win, and he greatly, greatly overestimated his defensive capabilities, and he greatly, greatly underestimated his enemy's offensive capabilities. And once he realized that, he said, U.S., come help us. And little USA said, now it's my problem. Get in, get out. Because I still believe, despite what he's been saying, everything I've seen from Trump is that he's more or less a peacenik. And I say that, I know that's a derogatory term, but I say that in the most positive light. Imagine the Klingons calling the Federation and warning them they were going to attack. Wouldn't happen. Exactly. You only do that if you're going for military theater. Eminar and Vendikar, take notes. Yes, a very, very good reference there. I like how you guys are getting the Star Trek references in there. And Chester says, correct, Mystery Movie Night. Yes, for $5. I've been meaning to ask Deleted about that. Is that like $5 on the night, or do you belong to like this prepaid club kind of thing or something for that? I'm not asking because I want to get in on the deal, because I've got other things going on Mondays. Well, you guys that are members know that I've got my Mondays tied up. Robert Meyer Burnett said last he saw the movie, said it was frustrating to watch. I'm assuming we're talking about the Jurassic. I don't doubt that. All of these long drawn out movie franchises do tend to get more and more frustrating if you don't have somebody at the helm who's really thinking through a story narrative. Yes, I agree, Darth Plato. Hitting Iran is not World War III. However, I think what most people are saying is that this could have, and they expected it to lead to World War III. This could have gone very differently if China and Russia had been... it's very lucky they decided that China wasn't getting directly involved, and Russia decided, to the extent that they were getting involved, they kind of want the same thing the U.S. does, and that's peace. I know, shocking. The horrible Putin, right? Actually helping to diffuse the problem. I've been saying ever since the Cold War, if the two main world superpowers were to work together, what a wonderful world this could be. That's what Reagan and Gorbachev wanted, right? But it's funny. That's what they both wanted, and then there was regime change in Russia, and Reagan got shot. Imagine that! How is it that the peaceniks, the ones that actually want to bring about peace, have a tendency to get shot at? Amazing! Just coincidence, historically speaking. Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark? That's interesting. Oh, it's a song. It's a song. All the dinosaurs are running wild. There you go. There you go. Did you know there is a foreign animation film that made $2 billion in the box office? I did not, Chester, and if you could let me know what that is, I would be very interested. I believe every word MSNBC says. Because it's exactly what I want to hear. Yeah, and the same thing on Fox News. It's like I hear people, regurgitating what Fox News says, and I'm like, guys, you've got to at least start doing some fact checking. Otherwise, start listening to some other outlets, just to balance it out, for crying out loud. Iran doesn't want war with the U.S. Exactly right. What Iran wants is to continue the Hamas campaign against Israel. You're not wrong there. So that I think that's the media will continue to be toxic about Israel. Yes, and if that's all there is to it, then they absolutely succeeded, because and not even because of anything that Iran actually did. Netanyahu assured that most of the world, including the United States, at least we the people of the United States, starts distancing themselves from Israel. They've lost a lot of support. They couldn't afford to lose. It's going to be a long time before Israel can rebuild those political bonds again. Iran wants regional hegemony. Their rhetoric rivalry has been with the Turks. Yes, this is something that not enough people are talking about. It was very clear, for example, that Saudi Arabia was hoping that this would, as was Israel and a number of other countries, the deep state here in the U.S. as well, was hoping for regime change. When has regime change ever worked out for the net positive? Ever. I mentioned Afghanistan. I mentioned Iraq. Are those places better off than they were? No. It's because we're good at blowing up countries. We're not real good at rebuilding countries. Well, we're good at throwing money away into those rebuilding efforts. But I don't think that money ever actually makes it to what it's. Well, just look at USAID, right? I am so upset. OKC won the championship. I was looking forward to blaming our loss on Trump. Okay, there you go. Iran's response to all this has been remarkably weak. Experts have been saying that Iran would demolish Israel inside a week with rockets. Nope. That's, again, remember, they could go nuts with missiles at Israel. The next one coming back at them could be a mushroom cloud. So maybe there's actually some intelligence there. Maybe they don't want to go down that route. And they also know that even if they fire enough, assuming they have enough, missiles at Israel to completely wipe them out in one go, then they're going to have to deal with the U.S. They're not that suicidal. So I don't think that it was weak because they don't have the capabilities. In fact, everything, like I was saying earlier about the Israeli defenses not being up to snuff, like I said, they got more of a response from Iran than they were expecting with supersonic missiles they didn't know they had. So I think this is just surprisingly restraint on Iran's part. Never underestimate the enemy. And they keep doing this all the damn time. My Jordanian ex-girlfriend would watch Jordanian TV. I was surprised. I expected the big bad to be Israel, but it was almost always Turkey. Yeah, see, that's the other thing, too. You also have to keep in mind, Again, this comes from media bias. Pay attention, because a lot of times they look for the scapegoat. Someone else is pushing the button and saying it was that guy over there. I mean, this shouldn't surprise anybody. I mean, you do it with your brothers and sisters all the time. I didn't break the vase, he did. And he's, on the other side of the house eating cupcakes. What are you talking about? Anyway, I am at the halfway point, so I am going to real quick go to the station identification and get back to this right away. I do want to be strict on my time, so be right back. 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together. This week on Live from Sparkwood and 21, we'll be taking a deep dive into the dark depths of the unfathomable David Lynch film Mulholland Drive. Join us this Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
An uprising hits Earth, and Servalan finds herself a prisoner in her new presidential palace. Meanwhile, Avon's hot on the scent of Bartholomew, the Federation agent who murdered his beloved Anna Grant. It's Rumors of Death, this Tuesday on Last Call Presents, Blake 7 at 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
It's Thursday night, and Netters Network talks to the streamers who have everybody talking. It's Thursday Things, Thursdays at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Big Al presents the 1981 screwball comedy Zorro the Gay Blade. Big Al presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Big Al Presents.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Papa Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
And we're back. Darth Plato says China can't do squat, Troy. They don't have to do squat. All they have to do is sit back and collect their oil. They don't need the Gulf open to collect oil. First, they have plenty of stockpiles, and secondly, they've got a direct train route to Iran, so they don't care. But what they can do is they can use this opportunity to move in on Taiwan. Yeah, and speaking of which, that brings us to this other point about war on multi-fronts. Yeah, not smart. It's one thing when your country is being attacked suddenly and you have to repel the invaders on multiple fronts. It's a whole other thing when you go picking fights on multiple fronts. And that's something that China knows America can ill afford to do as well. If we're going to send everything to the Middle East, we can't defend China, or we can't defend Taiwan then, can we? Yes, Gaza and Iran are the same thing, if you mean that in terms of North Vietnam is to China and Russia what and South Korea, South Viet. Did I just confuse my metaphors? It's a proxy war. Yeah. So Gaza is Iran, just like America was South Korea and South Vietnam. Or, you know what I'm saying. South Vietnam. You know what I mean. That guy that looks like Chaplin, he had great fashion sense. Well, the uniforms were really sharp, that's for sure. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, had a deep state subplot. Remember Gorkon being assassinated and later seeing the Federation members being exposed. Yep. And in fact, Valeris was one of them. As was Odo. It wasn't really Odo, but you know what I mean. Japan was a regime change, same as Berlin. Yeah, but we weren't after regime change. We were after actually fighting and winning a war. The regime change kind of, well, yeah, the regime change was kind of instituted in Japan by us. The regime change in Germany was self-executed, shall we say. It can be done. It just reason why you do it. It can't. No, it can't. What you do is, if you're going to fight a war, is you fight a war so absolutely that they sue for peace. You fight like you're going to wipe out the other country. You know, and if they choose to join the United States as the 51st, 52nd, 53rd state, we can talk. Then we will rebuild. Otherwise, don't pick a fight with us. I mean, that's what war is supposed to be. It's this mealy-mouthed, half-assed kind of thing that leads to the situations that we have. What is it Mr. Miyagi said? You walk on one side of road, safe. Walk on other side of road, safe. Walk down the middle, sooner or later, like grape. Yeah. Unlimited objectives. Yeah, that's a problem. It's not a very smart goal, is it? How attainable is that if it's unlimited? Iran's not suicidal. Exactly my point. But they're perfectly about other people being suicidal. Yeah, exactly. Here's more money. Go do things. You know? But that's how all these warmongers are. You know? That's how the warmongers here calling for war are. Yeah, let's be tough. Let's go get those people. Yeah. That's real easy to say when you're sending other people's kids to be killed. Perfectly fine with other people being suicidal. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I already brought that up. Jordan is interesting. Look at the size of the Palestinian population in that country compared to other countries in the region. Yeah, good point. But my brother did break the vase. And then you got together and you glued it back together. But when your mother filled it with water, it started shooting water all over the place, right? I remember that episode of the Brady Bunch, too. You got that right, Darth Plato. I don't want to unalive myself, but you want to go car bomb someone, be our guest. Exactly. Oh, and here's the money to buy the bomb, right? Limited versus unlimited political objective. History is full of both. World War II is an obvious example. War against Napoleon. Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really thought about it that way, but yeah, Germany very much was unlimited political objectives. Where if you have a specific objective, let's say your objective is global domination, right? Maybe think it through. Maybe do it in stages, you know? And maybe don't do it as an all-out assault on all points, north, south, east, and west. That's probably not the best plan. World War I started out as limited, but it started out as limited. It started out as one guy shooting another guy. And then it just kind of blew up from there. No, I'm joking, of course. I know what you're saying. But after the U.S. intervention, Wilson decided that it needed to be unlimited. Because of his agenda of empire disbursement, U.S. State Department echoing that ever since. That is an excellent point. Oh, according to 2C TV, Iran was threatening to close the Gulf of China basically said, close the Gulf. China basically said, no, you aren't. Well, China may have said that, but I think Russia was a little bit more direct about it. But you don't actually have to close the Gulf. All you got to do is threaten it, because it effectively closes the Gulf. If insurers can't insure the ships because they're concerned that they're going to get bombed and mined, you know, the Houthis did a really good job of scaring off people out of the Gulf. You know, it's and Iran is the Houthis on steroids. I got Iran and Iraq mixed up in my head a couple of streams back. Yes, I threw Iraq and then Iran. Iran would have to attack the Fifth Fleet to do that. Not doing that. Would have to attack to close the Gulf. No, again, they don't physically actually have to close the Gulf. All they have to do is threaten it and cause enough concern to insurers that don't want to insure ships going in and out of the Gulf. That's all it takes. That's the reality of it. German uniforms were designed by Hugo Boss. That's true. That is true. I mean, if you're going to be a villain, you got to be a villain with style, right? Said unconditional surrender on day one. Yep. Genocide in the political context, of course, yes. Love grape juice. Love grape juice plus. Unlimited is a fun word. War. Hooah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. But the threat of war can be good. I admit I was scared of nothing on Iran. Okay. Mom always said, don't play ball in the house. I was waiting for someone to make that quote. Thanks, JPRPH1. And Jonathan Conroy says, hail all, like button smashed, dog is walked. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Cat. Something break? Go ask the dog. I mean, I could actually, if you have both dogs and cats, you know the personalities are very, very different. The dog is going to break things completely mindlessly. He's running and he slides and he crashes into something and he goes, what? The cat sits on top of the table of the desk and, you know, very different mentality, but both have the same result, I guess. All this Iran talk, need to listen to Flock of Seagulls. What was that joke from Austin Powers? There was I lived through the 80s, or no, there wasn't much to see in the 80s. There was an oil crisis and a flock of seagulls, and that's about it. Trust me, I looked into it. I admit I was scared Iran would lead to World War III. Then I remembered Iran who didn't finish his sentence. But that's okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, things could have gone much, much worse. And I didn't think it would lead to, you know, mushroom clouds and all this kind of stuff. But I did think it was going to lead to a prolonged conflict that would have greatly undone all of the domestic and economic gains that we've seen in the past 6 months. That's what I thought. And this is a great way to... I see that now being mitigated, you know. Cassie has broken surprisingly few things. Yeah, she sleeps a lot, though. Typing my next 15 comments. Well, you better be quick, because we got less than 15 minutes left. And I say less because I do want to start winding this down. Because, again, as I said, I want to be done before the hour. I want to be a little bit more disciplined about time than I was yesterday. And I ran so far away. I should have seen that one coming. Oh, man. Good stuff, good stuff. The one promo I didn't do, of course, is for Friday. Friday's last call, we will be talking once again about the movies of 1985, this time not limiting ourselves specifically to summer blockbusters. They are still holding our territory. The embassy they took from it. Yeah, that'll probably get worked out with the ceasefire now. I'm willing to bet you. But on the other hand, maybe we just kind of clear out. I think bring for all the facilities that they bombed, maybe bring all those folks back and put them on border duty. You know, I'd say that's a win-win. We don't need to be over there. We need them over here more. We do not go abroad searching for monsters to destroy. Yeah, I was more afraid of another forever war. Yeah, there's no way that the electorate that elected this current administration would stand for that. That's literally what we were voting against. Not so that you could just move it from Europe to the Middle East. That's right. So I am going to start wrapping it up there. So Friday, last call. Don't know what the topic will be tomorrow yet, but I'm sure it will be interesting. It depends on what I see as I start looking at the pop culture news for the past couple days. I've kind of been focused on stream-related stuff. Tonight, of course, big, deep... In fact, that's right now, aside from that call that I've got coming up in a little bit, I'm going to be focusing on my notes for tonight. This very, 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 very deep dive into Mulholland Drive. I think if you have any interest in David Lynch, the film Mulholland Drive in particular, Twin Peaks and its greater mythology, you will be very, very interested in the topic tonight. And real quick while I'm talking, and I do still have a little bit of time, I want to see who is live right now. For example, I see that it looks like WDW Pro is still live. I think I'm going to send you folks over there if you don't mind. So please let me go ahead and do, where is it? WDW, come on, type WDW, let's see, this is, yeah, unfortunately, I can't look it up it's easier to just do it by stream. There we go. Okay, it's safe. Okay, so I'm going to shoot you guys over to WDW Pro. Do me a favor, go in and let them know we're rating them. Say hi for me and give them all my best. They're, in fact, talking about Jurassic World, I believe, today. So, guys, I want to thank you guys so much. Again, Tuesdays are all about what you guys wanted to talk about, and, well, you can blame Curtis for this one. So, guys, take care. You're all wonderful. I appreciate every single one of you. Take care. See you on the next one.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
Here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.